was weird. I glitched out. So hello everyone. I'm going to do that one thing that every VTuber should be, or every VTuber has done, which is go over the spicy tag list. But before I do that, I was gonna rant a bit about just regular AI stuff. This was going to be a video I was gonna make, but I ended up recording it and I didn't really like it that much. So I thought it would be better to just rant about it, maybe talk to chat about what they think on the issue, and maybe if I feel like it's a pretty decent clippable thing, I can make a clip out of it and include it in the channel itself. But so far, the recording I made wasn't really hitting. I don't know, it just felt weird. So that's why I'm going to maybe do it a bit more rant style. Also, I want to do this just to give people some time to come in, and also maybe not trigger the YouTube bots that much, because I don't want them to kill the stream. And usually if you start talking about spicy stuff, they instantly just hit the channel and kill any sort of what do you call it, the shit, got the name, but how many people can see it? They basically just flag it as adult content, and you're basically screwed because the stream won't go anywhere. Yeah, reach, that's it. Thank you for helping me with words, because my mind is kind of working in Spanish right now and the words don't come to my head. And yes, this is the test stream. I think it's 4 or 5, I don't know, but yeah. So let me see if I can, Christ, I don't know how people organize their desktop, because I have so much shit everywhere and I can't see chat or anything, so my bad. Let me see if I can move some things around. Okay. I wanna keep I wrote it was about like 22 pages of a script, and I'm just going to lightly look at the structure of it because I don't want to miss anything, but I'm not gonna be reading the script itself. But first I wanted to talk about the whole artist being the backbone of VTubing. And this is I believe this is a phrase that Joklesh or Josie talked about. She is an artist, or I believe she also does some rigging, and she has like a demon, red-skinned demon girl character. You've probably seen her before. I don't currently have any images of her. Actually, I might look one up before I move to the just chatting stream. Not just chatting, I mean the other screen I have that is going to show up the browser. Let me see if I can find a photo of her character. She is an amazing artist, actually. So it's where is it? Where the? I hate when Google Images shows you the preview image, and then you click on it and you cannot see it anywhere. It's so stupid. You see? Okay, here we go. So let me switch to the other page. And yeah, TLDR, dealing with artists is annoying. Yes, sadly, we're at that point where you're constantly having to fight with artists and go back and forth with them. So this is Joklesh or Josie on Twitter. This is her character. She's a red demon. Very nice looking model. She's a very good artist. And she was the one that started out with the whole Well, I mean, I don't think she was the one that started out with the phrase, but she was the one that I believe she made it popular, or at least she had this tweet that was went fairly viral. And she says, "My fellow VTubers, please don't use Gen AI for your content creation. I will never stop preaching this. Artists are the backbone of the VTubing sphere. If you respect your artist who drew and rigged your model, then refrain from using AI for your content." And then goes to basically promote that there are other artists on VGen that you can commission and all that. There's also free resources and assets around. And then she goes at the bottom and says that AI bros arguments are always the same boring replies, and that she is paying for a check mark and a bunch of garbage. But I wanted to talk about this because I feel like I somewhat agree with her. Yes, I think that artists are maybe not the backbone, but they're a very important part of what VTubing is. At the same time, I also agree with her that many of the AI bros don't really have a good argument against some artists. But again, when you see tweets like this, which is Kershaw from October 2022, let me zoom in. October 2, 2022, and she is basically begging artists to not take more commissions. Once this reported unfollowed, yeah. So you can see that it is, again, it's a very old post, and she is replying to someone that had a problem with another artist who apparently stole over $10,000 worth of commissions, or from her commissioners. And it all boiled down to that the artist took a bunch of commissions and then they couldn't follow through with them. I don't remember exactly who was the people that got affected by this, but as you can see, it's been a problem that has been going on for many years already, and it doesn't only affect the big VTubers; it also affects the smaller ones. Because back then in 2022, Kershaw was fairly small. She had like about 130 viewers per stream, which, I mean, it's fairly big. I consider anyone above 100 concurrent viewers to be a quote-unquote big channel, because the majority of streamers don't get past, I think it's like 3 viewers. So 100 viewers is fairly large in my opinion, but of course it's not as big as we're used to seeing when we talk about a big VTuber. When we usually talk about a big VTuber, we're probably thinking about 500 to 1,000 concurrent viewers. But again, this is something that was happening back then, and it's something that has happened to people that has not even debuted as a VTuber. It's something like that happened to me before I even started streaming. So it's not something rare, and I don't understand why artists have such a hard problem understanding that this happens constantly. Again, let me go back to this trick because I don't want to veer too far off from it. But VTubers rely on this art, especially when it comes to the models and the rigging. So unlike the Flesh streamers, they can stream and maybe they won't have an overlay they want. Maybe they won't have a certain animation for the notifications for when someone donates or something like that. But they can still stream because they have their face, they have their webcam. VTubers is not as easy as that. You basically require model or at least a PNG, and not everyone can draw up or make a PNG. And artists are even flaking out on doing simple commissions like just artwork. So it's not only the model itself with all the layers, but just simply doing a simple piece. They are flaking out on it because they take a bunch of them, they cannot complete them, then they get depressed or some shit, and you're basically shit out of luck. So maybe that's why people, of course, are pushing more towards or moving towards AI. even people that don't like AI are using AI because they understand that it's fairly convenient. And of course, it's also fairly cheap. But at the same time, okay, well, let me see how I can word this to make it flow better. But so we have to get to the point where we have to accept that there is a problem with the commissions and the people taking commissions. They are not responsible. They're not professional. They demand that you pay them as if they were, but they are not doing that. And hell, Vegan, who Josie mentioned in her tweet, even talks about Vegan. And Vegan had put in place a bit of a countermeasure so that if the time that the commission should come through has expired and the artist has not talked to you and you haven't maybe increased that time, you can request a full refund of the work. So that's basically what makes Vegan attractive, that if the artist fucks you over and doesn't deliver on time, you can basically ask for a refund and they give you your money back because they don't pay the artist up front. Because you pay the platform and then the platform holds on to the money, and then when the artist fulfills his part of the work, then the platform pays the artist. And of course, if the time expires, you can just refund the whole thing and they get fucked over. So the fact that the platform has basically a countermeasure set in place to prevent the artist from just fucking off and not doing anything should be enough of a red flag to show that there is a problem with the commissions and the artists that are not being professional. And of course, as I said, VTubers rely on this. The worst enemy of an artist is themselves. You are correct. I feel that if artists were they don't even have to be good. If they are responsible and they talk to the person that commissioned them and they let them know, look, I'm having, I don't know, something happened and I might be late about a week or something, because I mean, emergencies happened all the time. I constantly say I'm going to do something and I usually end up pushing it back a week or two because shit just happens. But at the same time, you have to talk to the people who are paying you and let them know that something is happening. And artists don't even do that. They're afraid of communicating for some reason. And at that point, your only defense against that as a commissioner is to simply just ask the platform to just refund the entire thing, because what can you do? You cannot stay there just hoping and waiting for things to resolve themselves, because they won't. Hi, I've seen you around since you've been done clips for Kirsha. I really enjoy your content, especially your newer videos. Glad to catch you streaming. Hi, welcome. I'm trying to make this a bit of a more stable thing, where I'm going to possibly next week increase the days I'm going to be streaming. I have friends who stream, who commission artists, who communicate it, and they just keep pushing stuff back. Yeah, that also happens. But I mean, if they tell you to give them a chance and you give them a chance, that's fine. But if they do it again and they don't follow through, then I feel that that's your responsibility as a commissioner to just step on the brakes and let them know that you won't stand for that shit. But of course, if they already have your money, then you're kind of fucked. So I'm not sure if Vegan allows you to extend the time for commissions. But if they don't, maybe they should. Maybe there should be some sort of a feature in the site that maybe the artist can request the commissioner to extend the delivery time, and then you as a commissioner can accept that. But I haven't used Vegan yet, so I'm not sure how that works. But hopefully maybe, hey, if some of you know someone that maybe works with Vegan, maybe give them this idea, because it could help them out. And it would improve the overall experience of using the site. Because of course, you don't want to fuck artists over And if you are sure that they're telling the truth, then you can basically work with them and maybe offer that a grace period of a week or two. And I think it's better for everyone, because you get your RPs, the artist gets paid, and everything works out. Yeah, you can request extensions. Oh, okay, good. So that's, I guess that's not something I came up with. That's something that already exists, and that's good. But as I was saying, the artists are the backbone in a way of VTubing, because as a VTuber, you are forced to rely on them. You need the model, you need the PNG at least. And if you don't know how to do it yourself, you're basically fucked. But at the same time, they might be the backbone, but that doesn't mean that you have to just accept everything. Or if the backbone is fucked up, you cannot change it or fix it. And I think that's where AI comes in. And people constantly bring up the fact that maybe AI is not ethical. And there are some discussions to be had about that. And I don't feel like artists are making the right, or they're not discussing the correct ethical problems that come with AI. Because they talk about if the training data, if it comes, or if the artist that the data was scraped from, if they give their consent. And I don't think that's really that much of an ethical issue, because, I mean, IRL, you constantly see artists borrowing or copying other artists, and they're not asking for permission either. Also, at the same time, the AI has so much information and so many pieces of art that it scraped information from, that you can't really pinpoint or say that a specific type of art piece was used to recreate something else. Unless, of course, you use, what was it called? Image to image, where you use an image that already exists and you create a variation of that image. Then maybe you could argue that you are directly, quote unquote, stealing from an artist. But at the end of the day, I don't see the AI having this massive multi-million image database as a source and using all of those images to create something. I don't see that any different than an artist just going to DeviantArt or going to one of the Gelboru or Danboru websites to maybe look at some artist's piece and using that as reference. So, and also, I don't think that AI is going to replace artists. I think the argument that AI is fully going to replace artists is absurd and a bit of alarmist. It creates this fake crisis where people start to go crazy, thinking that they're going to go homeless and they're going to lose their job. And yes, some of them might lose their job, but it's going to be the ones that either are not good enough or they don't communicate that well with the client. They get pushed to the end of the line, prioritize what they consider cloud customers. Oh yeah, they constantly do that. Artists are... And I mean, it works in every single aspect of content creation. You constantly see people that collab with each other because they know that they might not... Maybe they have a collab with a few friends and they shut that down because suddenly another collab got brought up and they got invited, and that other group might be, or might have a bigger audience, and they want to basically cloud chase and get famous of that. So people constantly do that. The problem is that you're not paying your friends to collab with them. Whereas if you're an artist and a commissioner, you're paying that artist to do that work for you. So there should be some sort of professionalism going on with that. And I don't see it happening. Also, when we talk about the ethical issues that come with AI, at the end of the day, let's be honest, I don't think the customer really gives a shit. As long as the commission or as long as the piece is cheap and fast and convenient to use, then the The commissioner is not going to care. I think that you should also, or at least you should always disclose that maybe you're going to be using AI. But I don't think, at least for the more normie type of people, I don't think they care about AI. It's just another tool, and they don't really care if artists are crying over it or not. I think this is only big in Twitter, where people are constantly paying attention to what's happening and are terminally online and more aware of this. But offline, I don't think people give a shit. Hell, I'm pretty sure you've all seen all the shorts and all the other Instagram reels and all that shit that use AI. And people love that shit. People love clicking on that shit, so let's be honest. No one cares at the end of the day. And if you think about it, this is why also Chinese manufacturing is so big. You get products that, I mean, they might not be the best quality, but at least you're getting a product. You want to drink coffee from a coffee mug and you can order it for $4. You don't have to spend 3 months for some asshole to do it by hand and maybe charge you $100 for a fucking mug, you know? You just buy that shit off some Chinese child factory and they ship it over and you have it, and if it breaks, you just buy another one. So I think that's the problem with the whole backbone thing. If the backbone is fucked, you just simply try to fix it somehow, or at least try to look for ways to make it work. You just don't stand around the whole time just your back all fucked up. You need to fix that problem. And that's where I think what Leaflet is making that tool. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but Leaflet made a tool where it basically takes a PNG photo that you have and it animates, and you can just make different animations for that PNG. And then you can attach those to certain expressions that you make. So if you're sad, you can make an animation for your PNG to be sad, and when you frown, then the camera picks it up and it does the sad animation and things like that. I don't think that's going to replace VTubing, and I don't think that's going to replace riggers. But I think what's important about a tool like that is that it's going to bridge the... Oh, I'm talking about bridge. Sorry, Kershaw. But it's going to bridge that gap there is between what being a PNG tuber and being a full-fledged live 2D or 3D VTuber is. So a tool that's basically free, you can use to... You're not going to rig a model, but you're going to give it animation and movement. And not only is this good for live 2D, but you can also use it maybe in a video game, maybe use it if you're doing D&D or something like that, and it gives you more immersion. So, also, you can use AI to create that PNG that the program itself does the animation for. So also you're saving on not only time, but cost, probably, because let's be honest, if you don't know how to draw, you won't have that PNG on hand unless you steal it from someone, which opens another ethical problem that might come with using this tool. But I mean, the artists have to understand that technology comes into a field and it starts to improve things that either don't work, or maybe it starts to find ways to improve the processes so that it doesn't take as much resources to do something. And this is something that happened with the printing press. People, and I mean, it was a problem because you used to have to hire someone to copy a book page by page, word by word, letter by letter. And eventually that the scribe, which was the person who did that, eventually lost their work because there was a printing press where you could basically arrange the letters on a page, and you can print unlimited pages. And not only did it get rid of that scribe's job, it increased the workflow or the amount of copies you could make, because a scribe can do only one copy at a time, that printing press itself could just print as many pages as long as you have the paper and the ink for it. And not only does it get, maybe it might replace the work of the scribe, but then you create other works because someone has to operate that printing press. Someone has to work with the ink. Someone has to work with removing the paper. Another person has to then put the pages in order and maybe create the book around those pages. So you're not really replacing work. You're just transforming or maybe even creating more work to supplement that technological advance that originally replaced that work, that scribe. At the same time, I don't think, again, it's going to fully replace the art. The industry is consolidating. Yeah, pretty much. Someone also needs to manufacture the machine, of course. So I think it's absurd to go with the whole alarmist mentality that art is done, everything is fucked, and we won't have work anymore. And again, if you're a good artist, people will still want that quality premium product. As I was mentioning with the asshole who was making a mug, and it took like 2 or 3 months to make a mug, and it was special and it will cost $100. Some people are willing to pay that. So let's say I mean there are a bunch of Japanese artists that I really like, and I wouldn't stop paying them if I could to get a commission directly from them because I like their art. And I haven't looked at many of their reviews, but if I see that they're reliable and they're constantly having open commissions and they deliver, I'm going to do it because I know I'm not going to get fucked over. So that's also a very important factor. So maybe AI might be considered slop and cheap and soulless, but at the end of the day, the customer wants something and they want it fast versus having maybe the quality premium product, but maybe it never arriving because they got scammed, or maybe taking way too much time for it to arrive, that if you already scheduled something and it doesn't arrive on time, you're basically shit out of luck. So that was basically going to be my rant video I was going to do about a month ago, I think, when Leaflet first came out with her tool. And I was going to be talking about the entire Yoclash rant thing. And I was going to go a bit more in depth, talking about many different tweets showcasing the so-called artist hate and some of the criticisms I had against what some artists were saying about AI and what some defenders of AI were saying against artists in retaliation. But let's just say that the entire recording was kind of dry and kind of shitty. So I decided not to really do anything with it. And I ended up then, I saw recently I posted a video about some tourist who said he was going to be quitting VTubing. And that was a bit, I don't know, I got a bit more motivated to make a video on that. Basically 10 minutes of me calling him a fucking tourist. Let's see. Oh, this is a guy that used the tool itself, and just goes over it. I was gonna show it, and there's like a little image down here of them using a PNG, and it's like a little video, and I mean it does its job. It's not the best, but it's something, and at least it's way better than having a PNG. I was going to showcase some of the tweets of the people that were kind of hating on AI, saying that people that use AI won't grow, which is stupid. And so much drama about this tool and nobody cares. Yeah, pretty much. It's always like that. People tend to focus on one thing for a little while, and when the next thing happens, then they just forget about it. I mean, what happened later after the whole Leaflet thing was that Bao face revealed and everyone was bitching and moaning about Bao. I'm not sure if I'm gonna talk about that in a video, because I'm pretty sure I've talked about the whole VTuber versus IRL thing. And hell, my previous video even talks about that, so whatever. The reason why his views are going down is because he isn't that entertaining, but I mean. And him having a model isn't enough. Yeah, I think so. That guy was fairly, in my opinion, he was fairly big. He got to 200 concurrent viewers at some point, and then his content started going downhill. And I'm not sure, because again, I don't follow him. I don't know what he was doing at the time. I'm not sure if he changed his content, and maybe that's why it was going down. Because if you are known for doing something, and this is something I can relate to, people know me as the guy who did clips for Pippa and eventually started doing clips for Kirsha. And once I decided to maybe start producing some original content, which was something that people were asking for, a huge chunk of people decided they were not going to watch me anymore. So if you change your content, there's a high chance that you're just going to start losing viewers. And him trying the whole VTuber thing, I feel like it didn't help him at all, because he already had an audience, and while that audience was declining, it's very probable that him changing to VTuber and maybe working and doing things which are more VTuber related ended up alienating some of that existing audience that he had. Maybe he brought in a few people, but I would assume that a good chunk of them would probably leave because they don't care about VTubing. And yeah, people have left because I started doing original content. And I mean, my original goal when I started doing, I started clipping because I didn't have a model and I didn't have money to spend on one. So I also didn't know how to video edit. And I feel like if you're going to be a VTuber, one of the most important things you can learn how to do is first learn how to video edit, and second, learn how to photo edit. And that's how you get, of course, your clips, and that's how you get your thumbnails or maybe other promotional images. So since I didn't know how to edit any videos, I started maybe making clips for Pippa, because at the time no one was doing it. And Pippa had like 60 concurrent viewers at the time. No one watched Face because they were new. And I thought, okay, this is something I can do where I can improve my ability by learning a skill, and I can also help out a content creator that I like. So that's why I started clipping. And eventually my channel started picking up traction and started growing fairly fast. But now that I'm doing content, it basically stopped growing. And now I'm going to have to create a bunch of new content and start being a bit more consistent, I think. That's a big part of what growing is. You have to be consistent. You have to have a schedule, because people get used to having or seeing you at certain days or certain times. And once I start doing that, I feel like I'm going to start maybe growing again. But yeah, that's basically what happened to me. And it's probably what happened to him. He was doing a certain type of content, maybe that I believe he was like cosplaying his character, and then he eventually moved to VTubing, which makes sense because he's already covering his face with a mask. So it makes sense that you would cover your face with a VTuber avatar or something like that. But some people just simply don't like that. They don't like VTubers for some reason. They don't like having or seeing or talking to an anime character on screen. So it is what it is. I mean, and I guess he tried it for 8 months and he didn't grow and he kept losing viewers, and he decided to make a big post saying that he was going to leave the scene. Which, I mean, first you have to argue if he even was on the scene in the first place. And to me, it seems like he was trying to piggyback off what Bao did to try to get people talking about him, which they did. But I don't think he got the positive feedback he was looking for. And I believe about a few hours ago, he deleted the original tweet. I don't know if his video is still up. Are you talking about the guy? I think he's kind of prophetic prophetic image trying to give into VTubing without watching it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting that he even admitted that he didn't like anime and he was trying to get into VTubing. That's kind of retarded to me, but I mean, it's what it is. Let me see what else. You'll see. There's this random team or whatever talking about that they don't do AI. I usually love when people virtue signal about what if they use AI or not. To be honest, no one cares. And the people who care are all on Twitter, and they probably don't support you anyway, so. And that's about it for the what I was gonna be ranting about. The main reason why people hate VTubers is because they're seen as cringe and people are related to it. Oh yeah, I not only is it seen as cringe, I think that the Twitch VTubing scene has, or I mean the independent Twitch VTubing scene has done a lot of harm to what VTuber or VTubers are seen like. People like Tuxie, who would only clip the lewd moments, and the bigger Twitch indie VTubers getting famous of showing their tits or shit like that. That's what basically created this stigma that, at least for normies, they think that anime people, they're only there to wiggle their tits and cry and moan. A large chunk of the EN world is allergic to moe. Yeah, I would agree with that. Remember what happened to Cinder? What do you mean what happened to Cinder? Was it the backstabbing part or the her doing 3D? Or did she get some hate for? I don't follow Cinder that much, and I don't really follow much of the indie VTubing Twitch scene that much. I'm not really aware of much of what happens to them. I only know when something big happens. Cinder got drafted into Iran. Shame. So now that I went over my retarded rant, I'm going to get to this. The Cinder drama was pure communication. Yeah, pretty much. And funnily enough, it was started by an artist, which is peak irony, given that we're talking about AI and artists being horrible and not having proper communication. So yeah. People like that, people like Nanoless are the reason why more and more people each day are moving towards AI, I guess. So as you might be aware of, this is the spicy tag list from the spicy site. And usually VTubers, it feels like a rite of passage almost, where people just do their own tier list based on the tags. So maybe I might go, I'm gonna go and arrange all of them as per what I like and what I don't like. And maybe you guys in chat will give me shit for putting something in the worst tier when you think it might be on the best, and the other way around also. Maybe I put something on the best tier that you might think goes to the worst one. So feel free to hate on me for it. I'm planning to put the final, when I finish it, I plan to take a screenshot and then put it on Twitter. So the people that were not on stream can then maybe enjoy my degenerate profile, I guess. So first is Ahegao. If you don't know what Ahegao is, it's the stupid face where you look upwards and you put your tongue out. My model cannot do it, so I'm not gonna do it. Like getting fucked silly, the face they make. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of dislike that. I think it's overused. I believe it got it got way overused on everything, and originally I think it was kind of funny. There are some artists that are they do it constantly, and it's kind of funny. I believe one of them is called John K. Pita or something like that, and he does some weird stuff, but his faces are kind of funny. But at that point, I think it's more of a comedy and less of a Lutz thing, you know? Butt stuff, I don't mind. I mean, it's okay. I don't hate it. I don't like it. It's just, it exists and it's there. Oh, but there's two butt stuffs. I believe this one is okay. If it's anal intercourse, I think one is for when someone else is doing it to you, and the other one is simply just poison and stuff like that. And to both of them, I'm fairly neutral. I don't really care about them. I don't like butt stuff. I have experimented in real life. I mean, yeah, I think that's going to be a problem when you have to like take care and maintain that area, and you don't know how the body works that well, so sometimes things might get shitty. I've heard a few horror stories from adult stars, which are funny to hear about, but I would imagine it will be kind of crazy and weird to do in the moment. So yeah. Asphyxiation. Honestly, I hate this. The only time I like asphyxiation is when a character I hate is getting choked out, basically. But that doesn't happen often. I don't really read manga or read content that contains characters I hate. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't like choking. I don't like the idea of someone being choked. I don't know how that got popular. For some reason, it seems to be one of the most quote-unquote vanilla things you see around. For some reason, choking used to be fairly taboo, and now it's everyone or a bunch of women like choking for some reason. I don't understand it. It's like feet was taboo some time ago, and then now it's fairly mainstream, and I feel like choking is one of those normal things, which I don't really understand. I think it's mostly the West I see that. Honestly, I don't even know where it started from. Women like it and I don't understand it. Yeah, that's my hell, I think I even have a tweet on my original Twitter account where I was asking, I think it was one of the Allure girls, to explain it to me because I didn't understand it. And I don't remember what exactly she said. BBM, this is fat guys. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of the ugly bastard. And there are certain works of art, spicy art. There's a what is his name? Ameyama Denshin, I think it's his name. And many of his characters are kind of chubby men. And while I like the art style itself, the guys being fat is a bit of a turnoff. BBW, it's also the same. I don't like really fat or morbidly obese characters. If they're a bit chubby, I'm okay with it. But BBW, I think it goes into the like morbidly obese territory, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't get it. I even talk about it on my previous video, because the guy, the tourist, was talking about how VTubers are constantly encouraging bad behavior. One of them being people being either fat or very skinny. And I basically say that I don't understand the people that do that, and I don't get it, but it's something that happens fairly often. So I don't know. And yeah, chubby is not on the list. Maybe there might be another like plump or something like that. BDSM, I'm not really a fan of it, honestly. Maybe some light aspects of it, but overall it's this whole control domination thing, and usually maybe I'm wrong with my interpretation of this, but usually when I think about BDSM, I think like whipping and slapping and shit like that, almost like Riona. So I'm not really a fan of it, but it's not something that would turn me off from reading a manga or something. I used to be a masochist, but then I stopped being one. It's still weird because when I feel pain, I laugh. I find pain funny, not pleasurable. I'm not a masochist, but sometimes when things get weird, I laugh at things. That's like my response to something maybe shocking happening. I tend to laugh, and I find it more funny than maybe getting off on it. Beauty mark, I freaking like beauty marks, especially the ones that are under the lip and under the eye. Those are really nice. But I mean, it's something that I like it when it's there, but it's not gonna make it or break it. But I mean, if it's there, it's a plus, I guess. Figures backfire would be one. Big nips. Well, not the nips, but you know. It depends. I'm gonna put it in neutral. There are some artists that go way too hardcore with this, and basically the nip is about half of the size of the entire breast, and I'm really not a fan of that. But I mean, regular big, I think it's fine. And what usually falls under big is fairly regular. Big A's. It's I like it. I won't go out of my way for it. This is the top one. Is I will go maybe out of my way to look for it. I don't really discriminate that much when it comes to body shapes and sizes. As long as it looks fairly proportional, I'm okay with it. Oh, there's big nips. I guess this is the almost baseball bat shaped ones. Not a fan of those. Big baseball bat, I guess. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a fan of it that much. I don't like when you see a character that has a freaking baseball bat and the character is like tiny. So as long as it's proportional to the character, I like it. But usually when it talks about big, they mean like really big. So I'm gonna put under dislike. Or actually I'm gonna put it under neutral, I guess. Because many artists use it, and many artists go out of the way to make fucking the hand of God, the dick of God, I guess. Making it so big it looks like a fucking concrete column or something. And I'm gonna be neutral on it because I'm not gonna say I'm like a fan of it, but at the same time I'm not gonna say I dislike it since it's so prevalent in manga. Bikini, this is gonna happen with many of the tags that have to do with clothing. I don't really care about the clothing. I'm neutral to it. If it's there, it's okay. If it's not there, it's also okay. I think it's gonna be very hard for me to consider one of these clothing items to be like a S or A plus rating. Blackmail, I can be neutral on it if it's part of the story and if it's a good story and the scene is good, then I don't really care about blackmail. The same will go with NTR, which I'm gonna get it out of the way. NTR gets a bunch of hate. I don't really care about it, but at the same time, I'm not turned off by it. So it's there's no NTR. Oh yeah, here it is. I was looking for the 3-letter word and not the entire thing. So yeah, as you say, if it's a story device, then yes, I'm okay with it. But I mean, it can go either way if it's done wrong or done poorly. It's just there to move the plot along, I guess. Blindfold, I kind of like Blindfold for some reason. I know I mentioned that BDSM I kind of disliked, but Blindfold, I don't know. The sensory deprivation thing is kind of interesting, I guess. This is the vacuum face. I hate vacuum face. I'm pretty sure you guys seen it. It's let me see if I can find a way I can illustrate this. Where can I draw? Never mind. Might get into problems maybe. But it's basically the let me write it down in chat actually. It's this. Many of the image sites have that as a tag, the symbols. I'm not a fan of the vacuum cleaner face. Yeah, I kind of hate Bellsprout. BJ, I really like BJ. I think it's visually appealing. It's, how can I explain this without sounding like fucking degenerate? I think a BJ is one of the it's kind of basic, but at the same time, it's one of the most intimate things a woman can do, where they're showing how much they appreciate you, and that's top tier for me. Bondage, I'm gonna put it in neutral. I know I put BDSM up down here. Bondage, I feel like the whole blindfold thing and things like that fall into bondage. Being tied up and the rope play and all that, I think that can be attractive. There are a few series that have that, like the one with the inn, Swallowtail Inn has a bit of that. It's really good. Boob expansion, I probably won't even read it. I'm not a fan of the expansion, any sort of body expansion. I'm not a fan of it, or at least I'm a bit turned off by it actually. I think there are some cases where I don't remember which series it was, but it's a girl that's like a succubus, and the more fluid she ingests, the more she grows. And I think that's fine. But when I hear breast expansion, I feel like it's more exaggerated and more like, how to explain it? It's like more crazy. The expansion thing is not like gradual or something. Because what I was explaining before, it was more of a gradual thing. When it talks about breast expansion or any other body part expansion, it's usually like from 1 to 10 suddenly, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Let's say girl going from an A cup to an F, is that too much? It depends on how it's done. If it's done in a gradual way, it can be okay, especially if it fits the scene and the story. So I was mentioning that a succubus who kept getting larger. Cream face party. Let's see. I think I'm kind of neutral to it. I think it intersects with BBW tag. Yeah, and that's some of that there. So it can be good, but if it gets taken to an extreme, then it's not that great for me. And usually when I see it, it's taken to an extreme. So I'm gonna put it and won't even read it because I don't really like that. Bunny girls, I don't really care about bunny girls. I mean, I assume it means bunny girls like in the Playboy bunny outfit. I don't think there are that many bunny girls in characters themselves. I think the only like big ones, or the ones that have gotten mostly popular, are the Viera from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and those I really like. But I think bunny girl refers to the whole outfit, and as I mentioned before, I don't really care that much about the outfit. Well, this one is bunny girl and this one is cat girl. Yeah, it might be possible that it is a... It might be an anthropomorphic demi-human type stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in like then, because I like the Viera. Cat girls, they're kind of basic, but I kind of like them. Cheating, I'm neutral with it. I don't really care. If it helps move the story along, it's fine. Colors, I like colors. They look girl. Shit. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. They look good on girls. Condoms. Oddly enough, I kind of like it when they draw it. Because there's also the whole part where sometimes the girls end up drinking what's inside of them, which that's like an extra thing I like. Corruption, I kind of like corruption. It has to do with the story, I guess. Cosplaying, I don't really care about it, so I'm gonna put it in neutral again, because it could be one of those things that they can cosplay as something I like, and that's fine. But for the most part, they're cosplaying as some random thing that I don't really know what it is. It's just some generic stuff. Cross-dressing. I don't think there's too much of it that I've seen. And I'm gonna put it mostly... I don't know. I'm gonna put it in neutral, actually. Because I've seen some good ones where it's a tomboy, and then everyone thinks it's a boy, and then it turns out it's a girl. Those are good. There's also characters like freaking Astolfo that they're basically cross-dressing, and there's a bunch of good content from that. Eating out. I like that. If you've seen some of the AI art that I've used to post on the Doujinshi Discord before they locked that down, yeah, there's a bunch of that. It's all depending on the custom, yeah. Basically, that's why I leave it at neutral, because if it's something that could go both ways, I don't really care that much for it. It's just it exists, and it won't offend me, so it's there. Dark skin, I really like dark skin, especially if the character has white hair, like the dark elves and stuff like that. That's a really good combo. Deep throat, honestly, I'm kind of neutral towards it. I know I mentioned that I like BJs, but usually deep throat, when it's left as deep throat, or when it's labeled as deep throat, it means that the girl's like choking on it, and it's kind of like weird. It might even fall into the blowjob face thing, but I'm gonna leave it at neutral, because I've seen when it's done properly, and I've also seen when it's done improperly, which leads usually to this down here. Manual rate. Who rated me? Let me know who rated me so I can thank them later. I'm a bit kind of a boomer, so I forget stuff, but okay, so I should write that shit down and I'll post it, tag you and shit later. Let me... My boomer ass, my non-technologically boomer ass, I'm gonna write that down on a post-it. Looks... Thank you for the raid. Personally, I don't like dark skin, but I like Peepa, so I have to like... I mean, there's also different variations to the dark skin. Maybe a bit of a tan could be considered sometimes a dark skin, and also going full like quote unquote blackface like that. Sheep VTuber was very dark. That's also dark skin. So it depends when it comes to anime. I do like it when it's a dark skin with lighter features. So like the blonde hair or white hair. I really like that. The Viera is also an example of that. Defloration, I don't like it that much, because there's usually, this is gonna sound like I'm a pussy, but it sounds like I don't like blood, and there's usually blood. I don't think it's done well. It's also done kind of, I don't know. It's not a fan of it. Demon Girl, I'm fine with Demon Girls. You know, I'm gonna put them in like, I like them. Fine. Futa on a Futa. Have I seen any of this? Let me... I think I only seen this on Futabo, I think it's called, the series. I like that series, but I don't go out of my way for it. But I mean, that one's really nice, and I think that's the only example I have of it, so I'm gonna put yes. Girl on female. Futa on female, I like that a lot. I actually like that more than a male on female. And girl on male, I'm not a fan of it. Though it could have some... I've seen some good art of it. I think I posted some... Miko-jan, I think is his name, on Bibi, who is another VTuber. She posted a doujinshi she got from, I think it was Offkai or something. And it was the Miko-jan, which I also have. I got it when I went to Japan. And she has some Futa on male. And it's kind of nice. DILF, I don't care. DP, usually I'm okay with it. I like it when it's used. Drugs, whenever they're shown, they're not great. I'm thinking back to what's it called? The one I put on the thumbnail, Emergence. Fuck. What's it called? Transformation? No, it's not transformation. It's metamorphosis. Metamorphosis, whatever. And it has like drug use and all that. And I don't. Let's be honest, the Japanese don't really know how to portray drug use. They kind of suck at drugs. They're kind of way behind when it comes to drug use and all that, and the way they portray drug use is kind of, I don't know, kind of it looks nasty and weird. I don't know. I literally for the past almost 7 years have not consumed almost any not safe for work. That's not futanari. That's good to know. I think I might have some recommendations. That's really a struggle because even if I like something, then I have to find specifically content with photo version. I have to look because I have a fairly big collection of manga I bought when I went to Japan. I think I have over 600 volumes, and I have to arrange them. But I think I might have some that have futa that I might recommend to you later. Regarding the drug stuff, that's because it's illegal over there. Yeah, they're very what do you call it, like conservative when it comes to how they portray drug use and how they act towards drugs. And often when it's shown on manga, it's kind of degenerate and nasty. It just feels dirty. Elf, I like elves. I mean, it's basically like any other demi-human. Motionless sex, I kind of like that. For some reason, I kind of like when the girl doesn't give a shit. I know, it's kind of weird. Bro doesn't like BBW. I already gave an explanation over BBW. When I say BBW, I mean morbidly obese. I don't like morbidly obese characters. If they're fluffy, then I'm okay with it. Exhibitionism, I really like manga that have that tag. Eye covering bangs, this is one of the few things that I kind of really like when it comes to like hairstyles and everything like that. When you cannot see the character's eyes, I think that's kind of cool. I'm trying to think of any character that does that. There's that one girl from the anime where she spits into the guy's mouth. Forgot the girl with the scissors. And I find that character very attractive for some reason. Face sitting, I am not a fan of it. Females only, I am neutral towards it. Fandom, I kind of like it, but only in one scenario, which I'm going to go later into it, because it's very it's one that I really like. Female male threesomes, I kind of like these also, because the guy has like 2 different people to play with. Well, there's this, what's it called? There's a series. It has to do with sisters. I forgot the name. Where there's school students, and they're 2 sisters, and the main guy's father crashes into them or something like that, and he then takes advantage of their mother and the 2 sisters. And there's a scene that the main dude is with the 2 sisters. It's really good. Trigger blasting, I like it. Foot licking, I'm neutral towards it. I don't really care if it's there or not. Foot jobs, I'm gonna put neutral. I only like it if it's on specific scenarios where the girl is doing a bunch of stuff and her feet are free, and I guess she uses that for something else. Also, what's it called? The emotionless sex usually has some of the foot job included, but I'm gonna be neutral about it. I don't really care about it. Full censorship, it ruins it for me. I won't discard it completely if it's fully. Actually, you know what? Yeah, full censorship is one of those things that I probably won't read it if it's there. I was gonna put it and will ruin it, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that most of the ones that I have are only partially censored by like a few black bars. I hate when it glows like the sun, you know? I really hate the fully glowing lightsaber dick. I hate that. Full color, you know what? If I find a manga that is in full color, I would actually look for it. Sadly, since the printing costs are fairly high, not many get made. But I really like full color. So I guess that's gonna be my first S tier. I don't mind censorship. Yeah, I don't mind it unless it's the full censorship where you don't see the parts. I don't mind it when it's like a little black bar or a semi-transparent thing. I don't like the mosaic stuff. That also looks kind of weird. Futa, I am neutral on them. Actually, there's Bible Black, and Bible Black is like my favorite series. And I mean, I think that's what made them popular. I'm gonna put them in like gagging. I just like that. Garter belt, neutral towards it, like many clothing articles. Gender bender, I like them. I like, as I was saying, the tomboy that pretends to be a boy, and the tom girl that pretends to be a girl. Those are always nice. Classes, I would go out of my way to look for classes. I think that's the only article of clothing I will put up high. I think any character that you add glasses to improves their look. I'm of the Fubuki camp. Gloves. You know what? I kind of like gloves, especially the ones that are like the bridal gauntlets, the ones that are they don't cover your entire hand and they just it meets up into a triangle and your middle finger. I kind of like those. Also, the elbow gloves are also nice. So I'm gonna put them in like group. I kind of like group. There are a bunch of artists that do many group images. They're okay. Yaru, I like Yaru. Harry, you know what? Actually, let me look if it's... Okay. Harry, I'm gonna assume that it's his pubic hair. I kind of like some anime girls that are on the hairier side down there. Halo, I fucking love Halo. Great game. I don't know what I mean. I believe this is about angels. I guess I don't really care about it, to be honest. I don't care if a girl has a halo or not. It doesn't really serve any purpose. Doing jobs with your hand. Keep it a neutral. Harem. This might be a bit of a surprise, but I dislike harem. Or at least the concept of a harem where it's a show that one guy goes after a bunch of girls and he has like a bunch of girls after him. I kind of hate that. Griffball in Halo was so much fun. I agree. Hidden. I really like Hidden. But I'm gonna organize them by severity later. Horns. I kind of like horns because they provide something you can hold onto. Huge. I'm gonna be neutral on huge. It depends again on the body type. It's like a MILF mature woman and she has huge ones. They're great. I don't like them on the Alpai Lolly type. So it's a kind of a hit or miss. It won't do that much for me. Impregnation. I hate it. Incest. It's very... I don't really like incest unless... I don't think there are that many books that I have read that actually have some of it. And I don't remember any sort of I guess, well, I mean, I was talking about what is it called? Is it Innocent Sisters or something like that? And there's two sisters, but I don't think they kind of make out with each other. And then it turns out that they're not really sisters. I don't know. I'm not a fan, not that big of a fan of incest. I like that one series, I guess, but not the rest. Inflation, fuck that. Inverted, nip nops, they're there. I don't like them, nor do I dislike them, so I'm gonna keep it as neutral. Kemono Mimi, which is basically animal girls with animal features. I'm okay with them, just like I'm okay with any other demi-humans. Kissing. Kissing is always a plus. I kind of like when they do it. Lactation. I'm gonna be neutral towards it. And it is what it is. I mean, it's... Actually, you know, I'm gonna put it up and like, it's okay, I guess. Not that common. Milky marshmallows. What do you mean by that? Latex. I'm neutral towards it, just like every other, or most of the other clothing articles. Leg lock. It's nice. There was a tweet about Sheena Someone he was asking if someone will make art of Sheena doing leg lock on someone, and then calling them a good cookie or something like that. And I did make some AI art of it, which I probably won't post. Lingerie, I'm neutral towards it. That is awesome when it happens in context. Yeah. Lolicon, this is gonna be one that you might maybe not expect, but I'm not a fan of it. Even though I defend it online constantly. I get called a pedophile constantly. I'm not a fan of Lolicon. Not really. The only chance is, I guess, when it's like a short stack and a pie lolly, then maybe. But honestly, I'm not really a fan of Lolicon. Though I will defend it. Again, it's not real, get over it. Magical Girl, whatever, I don't care. Mates, again, I don't really care about mates. I mean, if they're there, good. And if it helps the story, then good. Front Innocent has some cool mates with some cool outfits, but that's about it. I was fairing. I mean, fair if you don't, but there are some good doujos. Yeah, I let's see, males only. Not really a fan of males only. Saying that, I love the ever living hell out of Boku no Pico, because back in 20 let me preface this. I'm not a 4chan poster, but back in 2009, or was it 2009 or 2007? I don't remember what year it was. But there was when the third movie or the third episode came out, there was a guy living in Japan who bought the DVD, and he did a live stream with a bunch of people from the anime boards, and I joined that stream, and it was one of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life, and it was an amazing experience. So while I like Boku no Pico, I'm gonna keep males only fairly low. Master, I'm neutral towards people mastering things. MILF, I will go out of my way for it. Mind Break, I kind of like Mind Break. The only problem with Mind Break is that it often gets paired with the Ahegao face, and I'm not a fan of that. I usually like when they pass out after a good session, they blank out or stuff like that, but I hate the Ahegao. But the concept itself is kind of fun, I guess. Mind Control, I'm neutral towards it. Did not sped. Yeah, just wait for that. MMF threesome, I'm okay with it. I like it. I mean, DP is somewhere around here, right? Where's DP actually? Did I put DP? Am I retarded? I think I might be retarded. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I'm fucking blind. I'm not well, yeah, I'm retarded and blind. But yeah, DP is here, and of course, if you want DP, usually there has to be 2 males in it, or Futa. And I kind of like that on my manga. Monster Girls, I like Monster Girls. Monster, what the fuck is Monster? It's like some weird deformed thing. I don't like that. Mosaic censorship, I think it will ruin it. I'm fine with censorship if it's the little black bars, but if it's Mosaic, I'm not a fan of it because it distorts the image way too much. it's not full censorship, but it's almost there. Mother, I know I said incest. You know what? I'm gonna put incest at neutral, and I'm gonna put mother in like, because there's a bunch of manga that is mother. Multi-work series, I would look for those. If it's a manga that has a bunch of chapters, I really like that because I can follow the story. Usually the characters are interesting enough that I want to keep on reading more of that same universe or story. So I usually go out of my way to look for those. Many of the books I have are those multi-work series, or maybe an author makes different doujinshis out of the same scenario or same characters, and then they do they join them together in a book, and they often release like 2 volumes or 3 volumes of it, and I usually try to get as many as I can of those. Muscle women, I'm gonna put it in neutral because it depends. If they are if they look like a bodybuilder, like a fucking those dudes that get up on stage and flex their muscles, that kind of looks disgusting to me. But if it's like a toned girl with like a flat abs and a lean body and stuff like that, I'm fine with it. So it depends on how muscular they are. So I'm gonna put it in neutral. Nakadashi, I like Nakadashi. Nipple, nope. That's a hard no. Stimulation, nip-nop stimulation, I'm neutral towards it. No penetration, that's gonna be ruined. We cancel you for not having a base list. Yeah, it's impressive that many people think that I'm way more extremist or way more degenerate than I really am. I am fairly say vanilla, I guess. Paisuri, I'm gonna be neutral towards it, mainly because it is often paired with the BJ face, and I hate the BJ face. Pantyhose, they're okay. I don't care for them. I don't really dislike them either. So if they're there, they're there, I guess. Piercing, I believe this means girls with multiple piercings, maybe nip piercings, maybe belly piercings. I kind of like them. Usually they're paired with Gyaru. Gyaru often have like many piercings. Ponytail, I like ponytails. That's another one of those weird hairstyles that I might like instead of not really giving much of a fuck about. Pregnant, I probably won't even read it. Prostitution, I kind of like. I think that those are my more degenerate, when it's like prostitution and maybe public. Then I kind of like those two. Grapes for wine, I'm gonna be neutral towards it. I don't really care that much about it. Working with rims, I do like that when I see it, and sadly it's not that common. This is so sad. Yeah, honestly, I don't get the pregnancy stuff that much. Poopy stuff, that will ruin it for me. I will say won't even read it, because there are some cases when the mind break one, that it ends up with some of that happening at the end. So that's why I'm putting it in. Will probably ruin it, but I won't put it in won't read. Schoolboy uniform, I don't care. Schoolgirl uniforms, also I don't care. The only time I kind of like schoolgirl uniforms. Actually, I'm gonna put this up here. Is when it's a MILF, and you know, like she's like really old, and she doesn't fit into her old schoolgirl uniform, but she still wears it. So that's how I'm gonna put it in like. I didn't realize there were so many tags. Actually, this list is not as complete as others I have seen, but the others I couldn't find for some reason. Toys, I'm okay with them. They're there. This is a big one that you probably imagined. I'm not into loli, but I do like this, especially when it's paired with these two. Sister, I'm gonna put it in neutral. I'm gonna put incest again here. Yeah, I'm neutral towards it. Sleeping, I'm not a fan of sleeping for some reason. I usually like when both parties are active. And if one of the parties is not active, is because I like it when they're like not that into it. But when they're sleeping, I don't know. It feels weird. It's like the grape. It exists, but I don't know. The thing is, I mean, grape can be used for a story. It could be based around it. Sleeping also, but I mean, I don't know. I don't find it that attractive for some reason. It's basically the same thing, but one usually has more impact to a story. The other one is just like, I don't know. Small, I'm neutral towards small. Soul dick girl, I'm not a fan of. I mean, what do they mean by soul dick girl? Does it mean that it's only futa and that's it? I mean, I'll put it in ruining it. I don't, or dislike it. I don't really care that much about it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to look for it either. More negative than positive. Soul female. Okay, I think that this means that it's just only one of that type. Gonna be neutral towards females. Gonna be neutral towards males. I think I'm gonna put it in neutral then. If it's just a dick girl with a girl, it could be these two, just one of each. I could fit those, but I'm fairly neutral towards it. Super soakers. I like super soakers. Stockings. I'm neutral towards them, honestly. Stomach deformation. It will ruin it, but it's not a none. A lot of these tags are so conditional. Yeah, I would agree they are. But I mean, I'm trying to think in average, I guess. Story arc, I kind of similar to the multi-work series. I like when there's a continuing story. Especially if I like the characters, I want to see more of them. Sweating, I like sweating. Swimsuits, I don't really care about them. Tail, sorry Proctor, but I don't really care about tails. I know that Demon Girl and Bunny Girl and all that is here, but I don't. Often the tail is not used for anything, it's just there. Tankubon, it's basically what I collect the most of, which is the collection or the manga. Basically the compilation of many works. And usually this goes with multi-work series and story arc. So I'm gonna put that. I will look for them. Again, I have like 600 of them. I said I was gonna arrange them in order, and I was maybe gonna give some recommendations. I have to. My room is a mess, and I was gonna put in some shelves, but they don't fit. So I have to move my computer desk to the other wall, and then move all of my shelves to the wall where my computer is at. And I haven't really done that. And I said I was gonna do it, but I've been lazy as fuck. Is that it's a pain in the ass because my desk is really heavy and it's full of shit. But eventually, whenever I do that, I'm gonna take a photo of the collection so you guys can see. You're banned from the fancy club because your elegance points went down. Wait, what did she say? This is like beer. Oh, yeah. Cancel that woman. Tan lines. I like tan lines. They're nice. Right. I'm choking on myself, on my spit. Great. Teachers. I like teachers, but mainly because it's often associated with this and this and this and this. So I'm gonna put them on like. I won't go out of my way to look for teacher-only works, but I kind of like it, and I'm gonna put it like very high on top. Tentacles, honestly, I don't like them. Tom girl, I I like Tom girls mainly because Astolfo, I guess you could consider him a Tom girl or a trap. It's somewhere in between neutral and like. I'm gonna put him neutral actually. I might rearrange some of them later. Twin Tails, I am very neutral towards Twin Tails. I think the only time I like Twin Tails, it's when it's a MILF wanting to pretend she's younger and she uses them, and it looks kind of weird and funny at the same time. Uncensored, I will go out of my way for it. Unusual pupils, I'm gonna be neutral towards them. The Nation of the Yuris. I like it, especially when it's paired with the mind loss, mind break, stuff like that. Virginity usually comes with the, what's it called, defloration, and girls being a bit bitchy, and I don't know. I don't like that. VTuber, I haven't found good enough material or doujins for VTubers. So I'm gonna put a neutral. If I ever find one, then sure. But I don't go out of my way either to look for them. Webtoons. Honestly, webtoons, I have seen a bunch of them. They're horribly written. They kind of suck, honestly. I'm gonna put them on dislike. Webtoons is what Webtoons feels like AI. I don't know if it feels that way to you guys, but to me, Webtoon feels like it's just slop, and it's like often poorly written. The style is very generic. All of them look the same for some reason. I found good VTuber stuff. You should come for me for that stuff. I again, I have to go and look for it, and I haven't really gone out of my way for it. I think that the Pippa one and the Kirsha one are funny, but to me, they're not like this amazing thing that I need in my life. So till then, I'll be keeping it at neutral. Womb tattoos, I really dislike them. Not gonna say it's gonna ruin it for me, but I'm not a fan of it. X-ray, neutral towards it. Yaoi, I'm gonna put dislike. Yuri, I'm gonna put Yuri also in dislike. I tend to like more male, female, or futa and whatever the hell else. I'm not a fan of all girls or all boys. I'm gonna leave that in dislike. So honestly, that's my. Let me go. Maybe rearrange this in order. I'm gonna go with this first. I think this is my. The most books I have are out of these. There's 3, and actually I'm gonna put Tankobon first because that's my entire collection is basically Tankobon. I do have some doujins. I have like 60 or so. I feel like uncensored is very important to me. Full color, if it's there, I'm gonna go for it, but it's not the most important thing. multi-work series. I like that. I like story arcs also. I'm gonna put... I like glasses, but I think I like squirting and rim jobs more. So that's that. Teacher, I like teacher. I like beauty mark because usually these go with this. Hidden, big ass, BJs. That's nice. Let me put the Christ, dying. The demi-humans down here because I don't really care that much for them. Or I mean, I like them, but I mean, it's not something that drives me wild. At least on the scale of what I like. Wedding is there. Uta is there. It's almost like demi-human almost. Gonna put mother on top because it goes with MILF. And it doesn't have to be the main character's mother. Exhibitionism, I do like that. And hidden. These two go together. Blindfold. I like blindfold. This shit down here. Cat girl down here. This can go lower. Eye covering bangs will go up here. Group is okay. Gyaru, I think it's fine. It could go on the same level as the demi-humans almost. Leg lock, kissing, lactation. I think those are the least ones I like out of the list. Where is mind control again? I'm getting lost. Mind break. Urination. Mind break. I think this is nice. Corruption. Could go with mind break also. Being a cunning linguist is nice. Could fit around here. I don't care that much for the body types or the clothing accessories. So collar, gloves, ponytail, piercings. Let's see. Like prostitution, and it goes with, where is it? Hidden sex, I guess. Exhibitionism, somewhat. And blindfold, I can also put down here. I'm gonna lower this. Motionless sex goes up. DP, it's fine where it is. Fandom, it's fine where it is. Fingering and sweating, it's whatever. I think those more or less, it looks good for me. Not sure if anyone has any disagreements with management. Neutral, I don't really care to rearrange these that much because again, I'm neutral towards them. This ones I can probably put in order. This is the one I dislike the least, I think. Oh wait, this one. Back harem, lolicon, sleepy. Infinity, I think Infinity is not that bad. Defloration is not that bad. Webtoon is probably the worst because it kind of sucks. I think this looks... Big nips. No elf, surprising. Yeah, there was elf. Elf is somewhere in neutral, I think. With the other... Oh wait, it's somewhere in like, I think. See here. With the other demi-humans. I mean, it's your least. I just feel you should be sued for false advertising. Yeah, I'm sorry. I let you down. I should maybe release the list of the manga I have, but Twitter is getting a bit gay with what you can post or not. And what happened to my original account was that I think I quote retweeted some hentai manga artist, and the post got flagged, and apparently many other posts had gotten flagged for being too lewd, I guess. I did post some AI lewds, especially of the Kirshut variety. And for some reason, Twitter decided that my account was basically compromised and it was basically as bad as an adult account. So they not only did they demonetize my account, they also suppressed the reach it had, which is something that happens to many of the hentai artists that post on Twitter. That's why you're constantly seeing them getting or making new accounts, because their old account gets suppressed and not even your followers get to see what you post. Your engagement falls off by about 90 to 95%. And again, if you're trying to be an artist and promote your art, that's one of the worst things that can happen to you, because it gets to mostly no one. You also don't get any new followers, because your content does not show up when you search on Twitter. So you're basically fucked. And that's why I moved towards my alt. Originally, I was starting to clean up my main account because I wanted my alt to be the degenerate account. But just as I was doing that, I started deleting many of the AI lewds I had on that other account. And that's when they screwed me over on my main account. And since my alt was fairly small and did not have that many lewd content, I could go in fast and delete anything that I thought was too lewd. It was about 10 to 20 pieces of mostly AI art. So I got rid of those, and now I'm making my alt my main, because the warning I got was that I basically could not remove that shadow ban I had on my main account. So basically my main account is dead. That's why I'm not even posting on it anymore. Whenever I reply to someone, my post automatically goes to or it's marked as spam. I'm not sure if you've used Twitter before, but there are some posts that they're not even shown, and you have to click on like a drop down menu thing that says like show me spam tweets or something like that, and that's where my post automatically goes to. So I cannot even reply to people, and that whole tag is basically just fucked. I'm stuck with it. So my entire account, my main account, I think it had about 14,000 followers. It had a bunch of people that were it had a bunch of engagement. I believe I had about I was getting about $100 a month, which isn't that much, but I mean it's something when you're only spamming shit on Twitter, which is, I mean, getting $1,200 a year for spamming shit on Twitter, which is something I was gonna do anyways. It's pretty good, because I will usually use that to either buy games or maybe what was it that I got? I used that, I think, for I was gonna do a song cover back when I thought I was gonna debut, and I used some of that money to get the instrumental version for the song cover. But that might not happen for a while. I mean, I haven't even debuted officially. So I'm keeping that on reserve for now. I think, let's see, out of these, the most I hate is Deformation. Load your face, I fucking hate it. This is Sex censorship doesn't bother me that much. Just I don't like it. But out of these, impregnation, no, impregnation, I'm gonna put dislike instead of complete ruining it, because I think impregnation is basically it's not the pregnant thing. It's just later the girl gets pregnant, I guess. But I'm not a fan of the pregnant tag, which I guess it's weird for many people, because I for some reason many people love pregnant stuff. Hell, I think one of the biggest or the most popular art that I made of AI, Kirsha, was her pregnant, because someone in chat was asking for it. Out of these, full censorship, I don't mind that much when compared to these. And I'm gonna put breast expansion over here, as it will most likely ruin it. Actually, I would put pregnant and ruining it. I won't put it in... You know what? Actually, I'm gonna put it here in dislike. And it's because I'm not a fan of it. But I don't think it will ruin it unless the entire manga is just pregnant women. So, honestly, I think this is the list itself. I will be saving this and I will be putting it up on my Twitter for the world to see. I'm planning, I believe I scheduled a gaming stream for the next Thursday, because there is a Star Wars game. I normally don't do this, but I guess I did it out of, I don't know, maybe a week. But I decided to buy a game without really testing it, because I'm a huge fan of the... Actually, now that this is over, let me move over to the heading screen. Okay, so now that I am a huge fan of the tactical RPG style of games, especially games like XCOM. And this is going to be a game like that, based around the Clone Wars. I really like Star Wars. Sadly, Star Wars has become a piece of shit, like most of every other IP around. I mean, look at what they did to Halo. Star Wars, they fucked it up. They fucked Game of Thrones up. They fucked basically every single game. So, but this looks semi-decent. I saw that some people were a bit skeptical on the game because it has the they-them pronoun thing. And usually that tends to be a red flag. But in this case, I believe it's because they just don't want to pay a voice actor to record two sorts of lines, to record the male version and the female version. Plus, they just do a they-them thing, and they can even include people that might be whatever gender fluid they want to be that day, you know? So, I mean, it makes sense for them to save costs by not having to record so many lines. And again, I'm very negative when it comes to the whole pronoun stuff. But in this case, I don't really I don't really care that much, because I see it as them being smart with their money and maybe using those resources on something else instead of wasting it on recording more lines because of a pronoun. Is it a Star Wars XCOM game? Yeah, basically it is a Star Wars XCOM game. Apparently it is a bit different. It's a bit more complicated, I guess. But it's what I saw, it's basically XCOM. And I'm planning on playing that next Thursday, because that's when it comes out. So it's going to be a day one playthrough. It's going to be a completely blind playthrough. Hopefully, if there are people on chat, I would add you to my team. And hopefully my terrible decisions won't get you killed. If they do, it's not personal. I'm just retarded. So sorry beforehand. But I mean, feel free to come in and I would maybe go over and design a character from the squad for you guys. I was also trying to look into maybe making an official gaming day, and I was looking towards maybe making it on Mondays, but I'm not completely sure if I can this next Monday or not. It's possible that I can once October starts, so I might leave that till October. I think on October I'm gonna be a bit more regular with my days, but I have to figure out which other days. I know that Monday is gonna be one of them. I was thinking also Wednesday could be another one, and possibly Tuesday, and I could just do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Because on Fridays I usually have shit to do. I have to visit my family and stuff like that. And there's also I like to watch Kirsha's Friday stream, so I don't want to compete with her. And on weekends I usually have stuff to do, and on weekends it's also when I play with my, if I'm gonna play a game or something, I play with my friends, IRL friends. I have those, believe it or not, people I've known since I was basically 10, and we've been playing games together for the longest time. So I usually play with them on weekends. Also, if anything I have to do, which is work related or maybe family errands, in the house, shit like that, I usually leave those for the weekend. So I'm not planning on streaming on weekends, at least not yet. Maybe in some weird chance that I get someone to collab with and they invite me on the weekend, then I can arrange that. But I'm not planning on doing that. Most of my friends are overseas. Yeah, the same. Actually, I think only 2 of my friends, I have a group of about 10 close friends, and only 2 of them are stayed in Puerto Rico. The rest either went over to continental US, or I have 2 that went to Europe. So sadly, when you grow up, that tends to be something that happens. People move away and you're basically fucked. But I mean, the internet is there, so at least you can communicate with them or play with them online. But yeah, that's gonna be my plan, is to mostly stream during the weekdays. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and then leave the weekends free. As for, someone asked me over here for emotes. Let me see, where are you? Horrible at keeping up with chat. Where the fuck is it? Someone mentioned emotes somewhere. Well, I can't find you. I'm sorry. But emotes, I haven't even thought about those. I might possibly do something, but they're gonna be AI emotes. Yeah. Currently, I don't have that much money in hand. Okay, oh, Daniel, yeah, it was you. I just can't find you on the chat right now for some reason. And when am I moving to Florida? Probably never, honestly. Do I have a Kick channel? Not yet. I was planning on eventually doing multi-streaming on Kick. I don't think I'm gonna touch Twitch, especially since the platform is absolute cancer. Also, since I am prone to maybe dropping a few slurs here and there. Sorry, I am ESL. So, oh shit, I guess the alerts work. Thank you for the donation, Daniel. But yeah, I'm probably planning to staying over here in Puerto Rico, also because I don't think it's cheaper, or well, I mean, yeah, it is kind of cheaper, but at the same time, the work, or any work I can find is gonna pay less. But I have my entire family at basically walking distance from my house, and my parents are starting to get old. They need a bunch of help around the house. And also my brother I have my nephews at my brother's house, which I want to see grow up. I don't want to be too far away from them. So I don't think I would be moving anytime soon. If at some point I might move, I think it might be to Japan, and it's going to be a vacation house type of thing where I can go and be there a few months of the year, and then I can come back and be next to my family for for the majority of the year. Currently, you can only stay in Japan. I think it's like 3 months at a time. Your visa is up to 90 days. But there are many fucked up houses in Japan which are basically free, and you need some money to repair them. But I think I can eventually save up enough money to get a house over in Japan. So that would be an interesting project I might try to do in the future. Currently, I also haven't done that because I have 3 cats. They're fairly old, so they might die out soon. I mean, I believe most of them are 2 of them are 10 years old, and the other is like 8 years old. But the 8-year-old one I was gonna give to my parents because they also have 2 cats. So once my cats die out, which might be either anywhere from 12 years old to 15 years old is usually what they last. And after that, I'm planning maybe to look for a house in Japan. Because I've been there and I freaking love the place. I need to learn the language, so that might be a thing I might do on stream. Just play around with Japanese language. I know how to read, but I don't know what the words mean. And I don't know kanji. So the moon runes are unknown to me. I don't have that power yet. But at least the hiragana and katakana, I'm fairly good at reading it. I'm also going to be taking a trip in February, which I am going to maybe do a bit of a short stream over there. And I'm going to maybe record some stuff over there and talk about it because I really like Japan. If you haven't been there, I mean, you people watch VTubers, so you probably like anime, and that shit it's basically a playground for an adult, especially if you have the freedom to go a couple of, or at least 3 weeks of the year, and it's amazing. It's everything over there. The food is amazing. There's so much thing to do. Entertainment is amazing. All the exercise that I don't do through the year, I basically do it in Japan. I usually come back from Japan, and last time I lost 18 pounds, I think it was, due to how much I walk over there. It's crazy. And if you don't have a passport, you should consider getting one, just in case, because you never know when the opportunity is going to open up, and you can maybe take a quick trip anywhere else. It doesn't have to be Japan. But I mean, it's always good to be prepared in case shit happens and you have a way to move around. Or in case you get blessed with some random opportunity that someone invites you somewhere else and you can just go. Not be fucked over because you don't have a passport and it takes usually months for that to get. I can't wait to go, but it's so expensive. I want to do what you do with the doujins, but with retro games and art books. Yeah. If you go to Book Off is a secondhand store, which is all over. Let me actually Google Maps. Let me dox myself. Okay, let me go back to this shit. Yeah, so this is my map of places I've been to, or not only places I've been to, but some places I want to go. I haven't been to Hakodate. It is a place I was going to go, and Morioka, it was a place I was going to go, but I haven't been there yet. And I haven't been to Nagoya either, or these area over here, nor Kochi. I haven't been to Kochi. I want to go there, but it's very rural, so it's kind of hard. But as you can see, many of the places that I have with a star are book offs. See here. And this is basically a secondhand store. It started off selling books or used books, and eventually they started selling everything secondhand. And they sell anime figures, they sell anime keychains and stuff. They have CDs, they have movies, DVDs. This is for cards. They sell cards if you like cards. This is one I want. I bought a Manhattan Cafe figure from here. They sell manga. The Hololive stuff. Oh, this is a bay. This. Oh, damn. This. Oh wait, no. That's 2,400. I thought that was only 242. But yeah, they sell Hololive stuff. They sell a bunch of electronics. And you would go crazy in this place because they sell games, they sell everything. And I have a bunch of art books that I bought secondhand from here. There is the original artist for Ghost in the Shell, Masamune Shiro. I have an art book of his. I won't search for it because it's very lewd, but he drew some lewd art. He has a lewd artwork, and I have it. I have also the one for, I think it's called Princess 69 or Princess Midnight or something like that, which is it's a hentai about girls that do gymnastics, and the main guy is an ugly bastard. But I found the art book there, and I also got it. I got the art book also for, what was it? There's an artist I used to follow on Twitter on my main account. I got his art book from Book Off. And these are usually the price figures, the ones you get at the arcades. Yeah, Satoshi Urushihara is an amazing artist, and I think do I have a Satoshi Urushihara? I don't think I have Satoshi. I have I have Miko from Hatsune Miku. Miku. My bad. I got confused. Miku and the other the pink girl. I forgot her name. They have an art book of that. But it's an amazing little store, and as you can see, this is manga for Dragon Quest. There are freaking instruments they sell there. If you like playing guitar, you can buy a guitar for like $20. It's really cool. And I also search for whenever I buy doujinshis or the tankobons, I sometimes get them from here, though they're not that well organized, and their stock, their spicy manga stock is not that big. Usually, if you want spicy manga, you go to Mandarake. Here, this is Mandarake. And they're also a second-hand store, but they are more of a collector place. And here you can buy a bunch of figures, a bunch of really old, I think this is Shonen Jump books. It's like a massive collecting store. You see, it's a bunch of stuff, and they have a second floor, which has the naughty stuff in it. But yeah, here you can find there's just basically walls of books and manga and everything like that. And most of the manga I bought came from Mandarake, and there's also another store called Surugaya that has a bunch of like collector stuff and secondhand stuff, and you can buy good manga from there. So yeah, as you can see, I have a bunch of like book offs and stuff like that, shrines and stuff. So yeah, I would greatly consider, or you should greatly consider traveling to Japan. Try to save up as much as you can. Maybe if there are things that you notice that you're spending too much money on a monthly basis, that you can maybe do it yourself. So things like ordering takeout. Maybe instead of ordering takeout, you cook your own food, which is often about half of the price, and also it tends to be more healthy. Then you can save money, and saving $10 here, $10 there, you will be surprised of how much you can save in a year. And hell, I think my part of my trip, my first trip, was funded by my YouTube money. The money I got from my clips and all that. I only did 2.5 weeks my first time, and part of the trip I could basically fund with my YouTube channel back then. But the gacha is great. They have free shipping promotion. Oh, I didn't know that. I know that you can order on, if you're staying in Japan, you can order directly from Mandarake and they ship to your hotel. And there was a specific doujinshi that I had, but I only found the second volume. It's 3 volumes. And I found the first one online in Mandarake, which in the Fukuoka one, which I had gone to, but for some reason I missed. And the other one I think was in Ibaraki, was it? No, which one? There's a Mandarake somewhere up here. And I got it. I go both of them shipped to my hotel, which is the one I usually stay at, right here in Ueno. The fuck are you? No, this is laundromat. Oh, here it is. The Appa Hotel, which is going for $40 a night. So it's very cheap. Also consider traveling when it's low season, if you have the liberty to do so, of course. I'm gonna be going in February because February is low season. If you go a bit later, in April, when it's cherry blossom seasons, you're gonna be shit out of luck because everything is booked and everything is about twice as expensive. But yeah, fun times. Most of these places that you see here in Tokyo, I've gone to. So yeah, there's a bunch of places to go, bunch of things to see. And I would totally recommend this. Kiara talked about Enoshima Island. It's an amazing little island where you can go up the mountain. There are places to eat. There's just a bunch of stuff to do. And I don't have that liberty to do that where I live. Because here, public transportation is garbage. You have to get on your car. You have to travel across the island. Also, there's not that much to do here because it's a fairly small island. Over there, you can just hop on a train and travel from basically one city to another, and it's amazing. The liberty you have over there to move around is fantastic. At least using public transportation. I would never drive over in Japan because I'm honestly kind of scared of it. It's a bit crazy. The freaking roads over there are kind of scary, and you also drive on the opposite side of the road, which is not something I'm used to. But yeah, that's gonna be my stream for today. I can jap about Japan for hours, but I don't want to bore you that much. Maybe I'll do a second Japan trip because I only covered my first trip. But again, I will have to see how my schedule is or how I set up things. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna be posting my tag list over in Twitter. If you can share and maybe see if you can promote my stream, if you like what I'm doing, or maybe my videos, especially my videos. My videos are probably going to be what ends up giving me the most income from the ads and stuff. And I will try to stream more consistently, at least once October gets here. So see you around. feel free to come by on next Thursday. I will be playing the Star Wars game, and that will be it for me. Let's see if I can rate someone. Not sure how to do it. If not, maybe you can go and manually rate to the Under the Tea podcast. We're gonna be talking. They often talk about many of the topics I like talk about. They go over them. They cover VTuber drama and stuff. They might be a bit controversial, and they're constantly fighting with a bunch of other content creators, which many of them I like. But I mean, it is what it is. That's not my problem. So let me get the ending, and let me see if I can redirect you there. Thank you for watching, and see you later.